Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste everyone. A warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Then, how should we start this week? I read something very nice just now. Maybe I can read that. It says, tiger got to hunt, bird got to fly, man got to sit and wonder, why? Tiger got to sleep, bird got to land, man got to tell himself, he understands. Very nice by Kurt Vonnegut. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. A very nice author. Tiger got to hunt, bird got to fly, man got to sit and wonder, why? Tiger got to sleep, bird got to land, man got to tell himself, he understands. I liked it. Understood? Yeah, we are It's good.
Thank you. I've been watching this Isha Upanishad, got to Ishavasyam Upanishad. I got to refresh myself because I have left all that. But the way this guy explains, it was fresh. It was the street. It says that Ishavasyam idham sarvam. The Supreme is here now. It's now and everywhere. And
The Supreme is here, now, everywhere.
And everywhere, yeah. Anyway, so the rest of it I didn't bother to, because some
Little louder, no point coming close if you're going to whisper then.
Yeah, even I can hear you.
Oh, sorry. So my Jagatyam Jagat and all that, anyway, those are Sanskrit words. I used to know that, now I left all that. It has no relevance. All this by hearting and parroting and all that. I left all that stuff. But it says, and he was explaining in the three states of consciousness, there's movement, all the time there's movement. And then there's something that doesn't move. Can you hear me? There's something that doesn't move, and that's watched, that's seen. Everything is seen, as witness. But even this witness is seen, isn't it? Even this witness. So this witness is the first bird? Witness is not the first bird, is it? There's this perceiving, and something is perceiving, and then something else
First
knows
is the
that.
doer. Second
Perceiving
is the one that is perceiving.
Perceiving is doer. Sometimes.
So the first one is the one who's the activity is building the nest. The second one is perceiving this first one. Sitting on the side of the branch is this perceiving. All this movement is happening. You see? And the third one is not on the branch, it witnesses the entire story.
It knows, it's not even the witness, isn't it?
Depends on what you mean by witness. If you mean by witness aware of, then it is aware of. But if you mean by witnessing perceiving, then it is beyond even perception and non-perception. If you mean by witness to be aware of, then it is aware of. But if you mean by witnessing to perceive, then it is beyond perception and
yes, that's what I mean. I'm talking about, because in the 6th chapter of the Gita, Krishna says, I am the witness in consciousness in every being.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know, I can see that. I can see that I am the witnessing consciousness. That is seen. That is awareness, isn't it? It is not present, because with you I have no presence. I mean, that's a long story, and I don't want to bring that story.
Okay, so how do you know presence?
I know presence as an object, actually.
So that one that knows presence as an object is you.
Yes, I know that. So that which is aware of presence is the me, the real me. So
not the me.
Not the me. The big fellow, the big eye, the big eye. Not the little eye. The little eye is dropped. What happens in mind, body, and all that. So there is no need for effort, but there is slowly coming a shift where it's easily known, but it's flip flop. It's not always like that. Sometimes when I was looking at you, am I aware? I'm looking. Before I came to from Rishikesh, then he said, relax. I mean, I was training to be aware.
Yeah.
But it's a natural state.
So
natural. You don't have to. You just have to relax and But but there's a settling down, There's a settling down. It comes with grace, isn't it? It comes with pure grace.
What does grace mean?
Grace.
Grace is something that we can say everything is grace at one level. At another level, we can say it is a seeming undeserved blessing as grace. But even more important, I feel, is like grace is not something that you can understand. Is it? It's not something that you can understand. Oh, this is grace. If you look like this for 3 minutes, then grace will flow. It's not like that. You see, there is no manual for grace. There is no saying this is grace or that is grace. It cannot be put in a box. You see? So, if it is grace, you see, then, and if this is clear, then can't struggle anymore. You see? Because no matter what you struggle, you can only struggle for something which is tangible, quantitative, qualitative in this world. You see? What can you do to make grace happen? Or what can you do that grace will not happen? Even that we cannot. You see? Like this, I am pointing you to something where all of this is known in a very natural way. You see? And in the mind and intellect, it is known in an unnatural way. So when we try to capture it here, then it becomes a strain. Even the best seeming knowledge. You see? So when you let go of this device, then you will find there's a simple, natural, sahaja. You see? Everything. Because to apply a mental concept to anything is to say, that's a crazy example, say, suppose you heard a song yesterday, and you're trying to get what is the kilogram weight of that song? You see? So to capture the ultimate reality, if there is such a thing, using this mental notions is trying to tell me that that song was very nice, it weighed 3 kgs. You see, it makes no sense because reality is beyond this sort of comprehension. You see? Now, without any of these ideas, what is there?
There's nothing. I'm totally relaxed into it.
Yeah.
This is a very natural thing.
Very natural.
Very natural.
What makes it unnatural?
When you
try to do it now. Don't try to be natural, try to become unnatural. How do you do it?
You have shown me that so many times.
Yeah. So this is how you do it. So this is how you do it, exactly.
You're going to the past.
You are bringing ideas of the past, but I know this, you have shown me this. You see, this is the thing. So, again the buffet is in front of you. You see? But you are asking, but I have had this buffet so many times in the past. Why can't it stay with me? You see?
No, now I realize that this is so natural and so easy and simple.
Yes.
So simple, you know. If there's no chatter and you don't go with the chatter.
Especially if you stop going why. That's why I read those verses also. Like, why can't I get it? Why can't I hold on to it? Why can't it always be like this? Why does he answer my questions in this way? Why don't I stay in the abidance of the self or something? Gone.
It's so natural, it's so easy.
Yeah.
But you have to bless me with that. You know that.
Any but is not valid.
Any but is not valid.
Any but is not valid.
Yeah. You know, and when unfolding is there, and you have challenges coming thrown at you from so many challenges are coming for me, and I'm so. Although I don't have regular work, I've got a lot of work and a lot of challenges, whether at the club level or at
now
the
what you're
association.
referring to yourself as?
I am referring to that which is unfolding,
Yeah.
and a lot of challenges, a lot of busyness, and a lot of pressures, and
Who's unfolding the flower?
Yeah, I know. But it's all being managed, but.
Unfolding the flower.
But I'm saying,
Now the flower started thinking, there's so much breeze, there's too much, the sun is burning today. You see, how will I do it? But I still do. You see?
I'm getting, sometimes you get, what do you say? You say, sometimes you get screwed up.
Yeah.
Screwed up,
It can feel like that. It can feel like that sometimes.
I told you no problems I'm undergoing, but now I'm not giving him much credit. Let anything happen. Whatever has to happen will happen. I can only handle this.
Yes. Yes. This is an important topic because to make the claim that we know what something is, you see, including to know it is a problem, you see, then becomes like an avoidance of just what it is. You see? Now, it may sound like in Satsang that when I'm asking you to drop the labels of it, it can feel like, oh, it can't be that easy. This is just some sort of avoidance or bypass. You see? But it is the label or the idea that we know what this is, you see, is which is the actual avoidance. You see? Because what happens is, once we call something problem, you see, then what happens is we put in the box of all the previous problems, everything else we've defined as problems, and how we've dealt with it, and this is what it is. In the meeting it from with reference from the past, but without that label, it is meeting it for what it is. You see? Now the mind plays a trick, and it tells you that to not label it is an avoidance. You see, you're trying to avoid your problems. But it is not that. It is the labeling of something and presuming that it is something similar to what happened in the past. It is, I know what it is, I can define it in this way. That is the actual avoiding of meeting it naked, you see, meeting it completely open. So, and in our definition of it, not only do we end up defining it, but most problematically we end up defining ourselves. You see? Hearing what I'm saying? Yeah? If we already have called something a problem, then we can't meet it full way. You see? You see? Just like if you define somebody, this is a problem character, you see? You will never hug him wholeheartedly if you define them problem character. You see? This is the thing. So, any event, any situation, everything that we end up going from our preconceived notion, you see, then it becomes. Now, the best part about life is that, in a way to say something, is that it only has to be met in this moment. It only has to be met in this moment. And there's actually never a problem in this moment. It can seem strange, and you might say, oh, that's because we are sitting in satsang, or the presence is here, something. We actually just look, there's never really a problem in this moment. Problem relies on past and future. You see? But life does not have to be met in that way. You see? With projections of past and future. Where is the one that was here 5 minutes ago?
It's fresh every moment.
If it is fresh, this is what I'm saying. This is very good, because this is what I've been looking at also. You see? So, suppose this is Ananta 1. Okay, this one. Now, okay, this one that had the 1 on his finger is Ananta 1. Okay? Now that changed, and this is Ananta 2. You see, and actually this body has changed, cells have changed, many things have transformed in that much time. You see? So now this one is here. Where is Ananta 1?
It's gone.
It's gone. Gone? Then who came into the future? You see? Now there's Ananta 3. You see? So where is Ananta 2? It's only in the idea of the past. You see? Did that one come into the future? No, this one is completely fresh. Like you said, it's completely fresh. You see? You see? So this one 3 is now gone to the death of the past, or to the idea of the past. You see? So are things coming to go into the future, or are things coming so that they can die in the past? Like we can have this idea,
Mhm.
I'm coming and this one is moving into the future. You see, but is this true? But this one will never see that, which we call the future. It is just confined to the grave of the past. You see. So this idea of moving and stillness doesn't really apply to reality. You see. And till we keep defining ourselves in these terms, until we keep separating and saying, okay, but that is the absolute perspective. What about me? You see? And you can do that at times. But the thing is that all of these are just made up ideas. You see? Now, where are Ananta 1, 2, 3, 4? Something was different about all of them in terms of the manifest appearance. And yet, in reality, nothing was different. You see?
I have one question on this. So does that mean that memory has no role to play at all?
Memory is what?
I know you say it's a false.
Is memory?
made up.
No. I'm not. Right now, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what is it? It's an image, right?
Mhm.
Now, that image, is it past or future?
It's appearing in the present of
What is
something
it representing?
past.
Now, right now, there is no memory that appears. In the future, there might be an image which comes, which seems to represent something from the past. You see? But we've seen that that claim is many times invalid. You see?
So does it mean that we had some experience with someone,
Yeah.
and when they come, then we should totally forget that experience?
Could you?
We can if we try, but wouldn't that also be a conditioning?
If you could meet every moment fresh without any condition, you see? Not even the condition that, he did this to me, so I better forget it, or something like that. You see?
Yes, that's
Just
what I was
naturally.
talking about.
Yes.
So it has a small role. The memory has a small role, is it?
Everything has a small role. In the sense that small or big actually doesn't apply in this play of appearances.
Because from what you described,
Yeah.
here it was understood that no memory at all, no past at all. Is that what you are saying?
I am saying that what is it except an idea, a notion? Like, what is the difference between past and future?
Yes, there are notions.
So if they're just notions, then even these notions of whether they're meaningful or meaningless don't apply. No?
And that mind cannot understand. Right?
What
it
can-
wants an
okay.
answer that should it forget, or should we
Yeah.
just totally forget, or completely remember? I think that is the question.
Neither you can do actually.
Yeah, but it wants to know. Yeah.
The whole paradigm itself is flawed. You see? Because should I do this or should I do that, both are itself flawed in a way. You see? Everything that the mind understands is only a version of the truth. It is never the truth itself. You see? And no version of the truth is actually true.
So I remember Guruji stating Ramakrishna's one statement. He says that it's like the intellect is like a stream of water. If you dig your hand too deep, you will only get mud. But if you just get a little bit on the surface, then you will be able to drink water. So
Yes. So what's on the surface is that you understand now that you can't understand. That is also intellect. No? You have the notion that no notions are true.
yes,
Yes, starting to.
maybe yes.
So all of this is also concept. All of this is also intellect. You see? But they do not become conditions for you because they play the role of cleanup in a sense. You're not digging into the mud of individuality with these. Now, after you have a few sips, what should happen? If you dig in too much, then it's muddy. You can have some shallow sips. And once you have the shallow sips, then what should happen?
Then the thirst is quenched.
Okay, so is it quenched or no?
Yeah, so to this the mind gives a this that you're relying on past or memory or whatever.
How will you know whether you've had enough sips or not?
I think the suffering is the biggest indicator. You know
That you still need more or that you had enough?
you had enough, of course. So I think here it was taking up this idea that no use of intellect at all. The way your statement was
Yes,
understood.
the thing is that is also intellect. No?
Yeah.
You see, and I say this almost every day, the mind only knows these opposites.
Yeah.
So it says, intellect yes, yes, or intellect no, no. Neither. Meaning or meaningless, neither. You see, doer or non-doer, neither. Nothing is applicable.
Yeah, the one who's trying to understand cannot understand.
That's why I'm
This
saying
has
that.
to be
Understood. You see, this can be like the shallow sip in a way.
yeah.
You see? So that's why I'm saying, just like you can't measure the weight of the song you heard last evening. In the same way, the mind cannot capture your reality. Your intellect cannot fathom the truth of this, the truth of what is.
Yeah. So anything after that I say will be a mud. So basically there is use of intellect, but the intellect itself cannot figure it out.
Yeah. So the intellect is what? What is the intellect?
Memory experiences, memory
No. What
experiences.
is intellect as we define it? Intellect is a capacity to reason, to discern, to judge. Okay. To judge, to give something truth value, yes, to say no, this is true, this is false. So this capacity to reason, this capacity to deduce, this capacity to validate or invalidate concepts is what we call the intellect. You see? So when we use the intellect in the way of saying, I cannot just be this, I cannot just be this, I cannot just be this, you see? Then when we are invalidating some concepts using our intellect, saying no, not this, like Ribu Gita, no, not this, not this, not this, you see? Then you're, what I would say, just dipping in on the surface, you see? But once you dive in and say, okay, so what is it? You see? So for example, we can negate and say, not this because this is changing, not this because this is momentary, not this for whatever intellectual reason. But once you take a deeper dive and say, okay, what is then? Can the intellect tell you that? You see? For that you need to rely on something deeper than the intellect. But you see, if you give that to the intellect, then that the intellect tries to use. So when I say that I'm pushing you into a non-dual space, it is because the intellect keeps us bound in duality. Either it is this way or it is that way. Either it is like that or it is like this. You see? Now, the funny thing is, what type of satsangs are these supposed to be? What type of satsangs are these supposed to be? Advaita, no? Advaita Vedanta, non-duality, let's at least put it. So they're supposed to be non-dual satsang. You see? And yet in the words, can we truly convey any non-duality? Because the minute you pick up a concept, duality is introduced. So then what is the point? The point is that we must be able to find some of those thorns which are able to pluck out duality from us and then throw all the thorns away. What are you without this constant need to figure it out?
Is there anything that giving up intellect? You say just give it up. Give it up means it can come whenever there is use, but there is nobody deciding. Is it?
What are you empty of all ideas?
Can I say something?
Yes, but louder so the mic.
Here, should I come here? Come.
It is. Oh, it's maybe
Just
for the love.
It is almost impossible to speak about past and future when past becomes future and future becomes past.
Yes.
And then
So that means that
it's like,
there is no duality between them.
yes. And then the mind becomes very confused.
Yes.
And it becomes so confused that it has to just surrender.
Yes.
Because even the concept of time, it's too heavy.
Yes.
It's
And
like
it's not just too heavy, but it's completely.
it has no sense sometimes.
It is completely nonsense.
Yes.
Yes.
So we could say even the future happened, or
Exactly.
in the past, and
Yes.
the past was already in the future. Why I'm saying this? Because seeing the life, for example, the one that it's lived here, it is like all written, the story.
You see, but that is also time.
It's time. When I put it in time,
Yeah.
and then it's like even the future is known. The past, it's actually like looking at it from here, it's like past.
Yes.
And that brings many that brings suffering
Yeah. So
and attachment, like I don't want that
slow,
would
slow,
happen
slow.
something.
That part went really fast where suffering came. Okay, so let's look at it very simply. This one,
Mm.
is this one going into the future or is it going to rest in the past? This one that is here. You see,
Mm.
because we are obviously talking about this one. So this one that is here, you see, the body,
Mhm.
whatever outer manifest expression you have,
Mm.
this one, is it going into the future? Is it going to rest in the past like this?
It's
You cannot say. You see, really you cannot say. So if we cannot say what is past and what is future, then all this idea of written and differentiating between like a vision of the future versus the memory of the past. All
It's
this
like
becomes
same,
yeah.
but still there is
What is this now? This hand moving is present or past?
both.
What is it? By the time you can say something, it is already past. In a way, so it is gone.
It's meant to be
See?
both somehow.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying, that all of these boundaries are just made up. Like we can say the hand went to the future, or we can say, okay, this is just already happened in the past. That's what I was saying today on Facebook. That all these are just how you apply your notion to it. You see? Now, if you don't have any position with regards to time at all, then
It's like making in this present moment peace with everything that might happen, has happened.
yes, but this peacemaking happens the most naturally, like it is made.
mm.
Now, how will you unmake it?
It's, even if you would try not, it's
Yes.
not possible.
Yes.
It's like it's not a choice.
Exactly.
It's not really a choice, and maybe that's the issue that I'm having. It's like it's not a choice. It's like
Well, choice would also just belong in time. If you
Yes.
already discarded time,
yes,
then what do you mean by choice?
to choose.
When choice means like to decide for the future
Maybe
or
I'm
to
missing
use.
this. I'm choosing. Like
Choosing means what? If there is no future, what do you mean by choosing? You cannot have choice, doership, and have discarded time.
I miss doership so much.
Maybe you miss it too much. Well, what is the best parts of it that you miss?
Well, there is still some belief that remains, as if I'm choosing, I'm going to choose right or better, or what would be better, always towards better. And then again it's seen there is just, it's just nothing. It's actually like just talking in wind in a way.
So the thought came with two alternatives. You see? Both are gone.
Mm.
You see? You say that there is no past because there is no time.
Mm.
So what choice is left to make?
I don't know. It's something is still. There is something that is. It's like. I even don't know what it is. It's so tangible, but it's like I'm making a choice still. Even coming here, going. It's like even choice to be. It's like that paradox: choice to be alive, and at the same time it's body living. It's like, but it's still like it's perceived as a choice.
The term choice actually in reality has no meaning.
Mm.
You see? Now what is the meaning that is being given to it? If you investigate that, you will see that it is as meaningless as a notion as time is or space is.
Mm.
What attaches you to this notion of choice? You say that there is something tangible.
Yeah, it's like it's some kind of a belief that
Yes, but belief
This-
is just an idea. You see, it's not tangible.
if I choose, maybe it's like like even choosing for the body or for the environment. It's like choosing less suffering. So it's this what causes, what brings less suffering.
Yeah.
It's some kind of a, I don't even know what it is. It's like some kind of, I'm here involved in this. I always look, okay, what is somehow less, what is better, what is less suffering for everyone involved, for myself, for everything that is here, and this brings this choice again and again and again, and it seems like I'm doing a choice, and I know at the same time I'm not doing it, but it's the game is very heavy.
If you see that both making and not making, you see, is basically fundamentally the same thing, then there is no struggle. You see, once you put your weight on one side of it,
Yes.
you see, that is when the seeming struggle can come.
Yes.
If you can live with that statement which you just made, which is that I am both making it and not making it, then there is no trouble.
Yes. But it keeps happening that struggle comes. And then I'm
Yes.
pulled back into this, which is, of course,
Yes, the struggle comes only when we put some weight into one end of duality. If duality is left equal weight, that means
Yeah,
it's the end of it in
this,
a way.
yes, it's like still balancing a little bit up and down
Yeah.
on
But
this
that is the
scale.
natural balance. In the sense, to unbalance it is, in a way, how belief goes, how the play goes. You see? Like the natural balance is just there.
It's somehow like even like allowing this to live, unfolding, but I don't want it. It's like that. So I am in struggle with this, like just to allow that this unfolds as it's supposed to unfold.
Yes, but
But-
not allowing is not part of the unfolding.
It's the same. It's again.
That's what I'm saying.
When I say it's written, when I apply to this, it's like I
Yes,
would just
yes. So everything is
struggle with
unfolding.
myself.
Okay, so everything is unfolding, and there seems to be a resisting of that unfolding. But that you are saying also that resisting is also part of the unfolding.
Yes.
So everything is just the
And
unfolding.
also that is sin.
Yeah.
But in this, it's a struggle.
Which part of the struggle is not part of the natural unfolding?
It's like believe that it's not supposed to not it. I know it's like this what is unfolding, but I don't want to unfold like this. It's like I have no choice, and I know
Yes, but this not wanting is not part of the unfolding.
it's the same, but the belief is so strong that the struggle comes.
Okay, so if you see all of this, then you are at peace with even that which you are calling the struggle, no?
I go back to time most of the time.
You go back in time?
Most of the time. There is acceptance. Yet some struggle does come up still.
Do you really know anything that you're saying?
No. And that became an issue. I have
You know
issue
this? You know this?
I have issue with this.
Do you know that you have an issue with this?
Yes.
How do you know this?
Because this is like this kind of a struggle of how am I living not knowing anything.
Yes.
And now this became an issue. Before
Yes.
this was like
Yes.
goal or
Exactly,
it was
exactly.
the treasure,
This is very good.
and now this is an issue.
Yes, because this is we have been taught all of these things, or taught to know these things, because we were told that this is how you will live your life. You see? And now as you're seeing through all of this, and you're seeing that actually I don't know any of this, the same condition which you were taught that this is how you will live, that same one is fighting back saying if you drop it then how will you live? You see, that is all that is happening.
It's not even how would I live or not. That's like it's not even. It's more. Why even do anything then, or say anything, or move anything? This is like more becoming.
You see, but this is also built on the false idea that the false idea of the individual doer who's deciding to say or not say, do or not do.
Yeah, he keeps coming and doing these things.
Huh?
It's like still in the playground.
Yeah. But in the playground, it still relies on anything that you think you know. You see? Without that, it has no way to play.
Yeah, it's like, and then all the toys I take, like it's like they're removed. Not even I take them; they would be removed. Even.
Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's start fully fresh now.
Mhm.
Both of us have had a rebirth. This moment is completely new now. Now, what is there here now?
You and me. There is no even answer on this. What am I supposed to even answer?
Exactly. You see? Even the you and me is not really true. No?
It's perceived like that.
It is not even perceived like that. It is interpreted, the perception is being interpreted like that.
Hmm. It's seen like this.
Yes. It is seen naturally, but we interpret it with a me and a you. You see? Where do you end?
Nowhere. Even where is the end?
Yeah.
It's like saying. Well, that's also the so many days. Where is the end? Where is the beginning? Nowhere.
Nowhere.
It's like again and again and again.
Therefore, this duality of begin and end also does not have any truth. There's one main struggle that seems to occur, which is what is the point? You see? Like if time is not there, if there's no beginning, there's no end, there's no duality. Now, what is the point? You see? Now that question also is pointless actually.
And we keep saying the same things and the same and everyday words and the life and
I have nothing better to do.
yes, I know. I know that.
Fundamentally, it all comes down to this, which is that to try and grasp this in our concepts, in our notions, is a futile exercise. You see, but even to say it is a futile exercise is an attempt to grasp at it. You see, like I've been saying, to see that the truth cannot be spoken about. Is trying to speak about the truth.
It's like a big, huge ocean that never even has a beginning or ending of paradox.
Yes. Yeah. You see? As long as we have views, there will be paradox. There is no view which will be left without its opposite. You see? Now, if you don't have any view, including this one, no paradox. Paradox does not apply unless you have a perspective.
Paradox is in duality.
Paradox
So
is
it's
duality.
like
Yes. And because wholeness is so whole, therefore both aspects will always be available for anything that we think is true. And both will be equally true.
it's to even live or say or words or deeds, they're all in duality.
Yes. And they're opposites, you see?
Yes.
Because we can get into also that kind of thing that, okay, therefore I must not live, or I must not speak, or I must not. Even that is in duality.
Yes, all of it.
All of
That's it.
it. That's it is also in duality.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it or it is not, it is both the same. Amaya said something very beautiful today. I read that. Did you see what she posted?
Facebook.
Yeah. So she said, "Dearest Father," and brackets, this is meant for a smile. But lately, when I post the transcripts, it comes to mind to post a disclaimer. This medicine is prescribed for self discovery beyond concepts, beliefs, and notions. Side effects may include wobbliness, disorientation, feeling like the rug has just been pulled from underneath, confusion, stunned silence, and may cause mental resistance with such utterances such as, "What is this?" Proceed with awareness or openness. And she's been kind actually.
It feels, Father, it feels,
Louder.
it feels like, it just feels like coming to Satsang was to just be, to be pointed to that this instrument is not needed. If you became because I wanted to know what is real. Okay, I'm just beginning from that. And then again and again being shown by something within the phenomenal realm that this thing, this one, like the best eyes can't hear, now the best mind, the best intellect is not going to give you the answer to what you think you came to find out. I mean, I think I came here because I wanted to know the truth, but I'm using the wrong instrument. And so if I just drop that instrument, and you seem to be like the mirror which Guruji used to say, like, you know, I'm like a mirror.
Okay, don't know all this,
okay,
don't know all this.
okay,
Okay,
so,
drop the
okay,
instrument.
drop
Then
the instrument. Okay, if I drop the instrument, and a certain way of living needs to be let go.
No, just drop the instrument, then drop this mental, notional instrument. Now,
There's nothing to report. Everything is through there. The senses are there. I mean, I can.
You see, there is only one notion, and that notion is separation. In all distinctions, all notions, there is only the idea of separation. Now, this separation never happened. That's why it is non-duality. No duality is real. No duality has ever happened. There is no difference in, even as the sages would say, that there is no difference in samsara or nirvana. These are just, again, notional distinctions. No difference in the manifest and the unmanifest. No difference in the absolute and the personal. There is no difference in anything at all. All of these are ideas, even those that we have used in satsang, can be discarded unless you replace them with a fresh set of ideas, which could be these words which you are hearing. Then these will have to be discarded. Till you go beyond this device, till you come to your conceptual emptiness. I could say many fancy things. I could say, here there is tranquility, here there is peace, here there is timelessness. But the thing is that our mind will always put the cart before the horse and say, okay, where is the tranquility, where is the timelessness?
We say that it's like one holistic experience is the best way to say it. It's just like, doesn't, if I don't, when the interpretation doesn't come, there doesn't seem to be a stopping. I mean, now when I open my eyes, yes, but when my eyes are closed, it's just like.
Yeah. So drop this device.
Okay.
This device.
Then
Because this is still a representation of this very primal need to know, to capture, to understand. You see?
these eyes. I mean,
Huh?
forms.
No, this, whatever representation we are making of it, that this is what's happening, it's
Yeah.
one holistic view, you see?
Yeah,
Like
but
that.
that's because I needed to say something.
You don't have to say
Like
anything. Don't have to say anything. You see? Don't have to say anything at all. Because I am completely aware that the truth is completely apparent to you, so you don't have to tell me about it. In that moment of notionless existence, there is nothing that is a mystery. And when we pick up a notion about anything, it is just a story. You might feel that you are resting on a notion, is it? You might feel that you are resting on a notion, but actually it is not that. You rest when you are empty of notions. Because we got so habituated into this kind of play that it felt like I must know what this is, I must know what's happening. Oh, And this idea that I will come to some truth notionally, you see, and we keep struggling to find that. It is probably in this context that Papaji was speaking when he said end the search. See? Come to an end of this kind of trying to grasp like this.
Right now I'm not seeking. Right now I'm not seeking.
He says, right now I'm not seeking.
Is that I'm checking with you? Is that true?
No.
No?
Because you're seeking an answer to that. No?
Seeking answer.
You see, all our seeking is like this. Our seeking is just like that. Like we are seeking confirmation of something, but our being is more naturally present than that. So when you say that, can I check with you whether I am seeking now or no? In that need of an answer is the seeking. You see, like I've been asking you, what does an answer give you? You see? It can only have two purposes, no, in a way. The purpose with which it is being spoken here is so that it can be used to throw everything else. But the purpose in which it can be used is to fill a conceptual gap that you might think you have. Like you have this gap of I don't know. You see? Now if I give you an answer, then it can seem to fill up that tension of not knowing. But I want that tension to expand and to blow everything else which is there. You see? This is also explaining too much actually. This tension of I don't know, it can just expand and blow everything. You see, as you come to the broadness of your not knowing, it will blow everything that you think is true. But if I give you a like conceptual balm for it, you see, then you will put it over there and say, I'm done actually. You see, something like this. But the I don't know is much more auspicious in that way. Like if you don't know anymore whether you're seeking or not, what's wrong with that? That is better actually. Because otherwise you can make a claim. You can proclaim or you can doubt, you see. This is the primal need that I'm talking about. You see, this is the primal need of individualizing. Like to make a claim, to be able to substantively say this is how it is. A fancy satsang way of saying it could be to say that true meaning will only be discovered when you find that everything that you think is meaningless. But even this we can put it in our conceptual box. You know why some of you are struggling? You are struggling because for so many years you felt that you are being led to an ultimate goal. You see? Although it is always said that that ultimate goal is the starting point itself. And yet the feeling becomes more and more that I am coming to the absolute, I am coming to awareness. See? Where I kept saying you have never left the destination. See? And I realized that many of us started using the concept of satsang itself to make a journey out of this. You see? And that's why maybe in the expression here something changed and it became deconstructive about even the expression of satsang. You know? Is it? Because although the words were being said, there is no journey, you are the self. You see? These words themselves were being used to make a journey out of it. Now I'm not giving you the scope for that. You see? I just push you out of this duality. Even if it is wobbliness, even if it is confusion, anger, sometimes frustration. Why frustration? Frustration only means can only come because you're feeling that the bag of concepts that you collected is now worthless. It is not about reality. Frustration is only because you feel like, oh, you struggled so much to get to this, you had such experiences, you found this and you found that. And I'm saying everything in your story is just story, the truth is here now, naked. You see? So whether I say it in the form of now, or I say it in the form of forget it, you don't know anything. It is the same thing. I'm so aware of this life playing out. So I just let it be. Yes. Let it run in the background of my scene. Yes. Let it be is very beautiful. Let it be means we are not taking the position, oh, now I'm just letting it be. You see? Now are we taking the position of no, now I have to control it in this way. You see? Both are the same. Let it be just means openness, motionlessness. Yes, we'll come to CAD in just a minute. But no, but why does your face seem like there is a but inside there?
I don't want to speak about the butts
Yeah.
anymore. I can speak about many things, and somehow the understanding is through the experience. Only like that is truly lived and understood. There
Yeah.
is no other way. It's the only way.
The seeing of it, the being of it, the living of it is all one. It is only in the clinging to it or the trying to grasp at it that the seeming duality seems to appear. You can't even say it actually appears. Because then we'd be in trouble if it actually appeared.
Some things are just that strong that we do attach. We do clinch, we grab, and still it's like that's just how it's for each of us.
Yes, it plays out like
The
this.
play.
Yes, it plays out like this. Like I was saying, no, that there's this experiment. Did you hear of this? So there's an experiment where someone was put in an empty room with no sound. There was just a bell in front of him. So a few minutes were fine, but then he started to not enjoy the nothingness, you see. Then he hung the bell and he got an electric shock. Got a shock. So, well, no, not doing that again. You see? That's a shock. A proper, solid shock. Then what happened is that he's just sitting there 10 minutes, 15 minutes. After a while, the habit of wanting to cling on to something, wanting to get some sort of, to claim some experience, to have something happening was so strong that even though he knew it's going to get a shock, you see, every 15 minutes or so, he rang the bell and electrocuted himself. You see? So for the mind, it can feel like this. It can feel like this a bit in satsang also, because I'm not giving you any branch to hang on to. You see? Even the branches that I'm saying, I'm cutting them.
More it feels like it would be like a force that works through the body.
Yeah, whatever name you want to give to
That
it.
goes and it does this.
Yes, yes.
And
However you want to define it, you see. The thing is that all our definition are basically doing that. Our process of doing that is our definition. Our claim of knowing something, you see, is that. Because it can feel too broad, too open. You see, without that, without a mental concept of what is too much for the mind. As long as we have an answer to the question, what is going on, in any way, if we have a definition for the question, what is going on, or what is, we are reaching out to that electric shock in a way. Because reality is too much to be defined in this way. Like, how can we say what is? That when we say what is going on, or what something was, or what something will be, it's all trying to define the same isness. Okay, cat can come now.
Morning, Father. Can you hear me? Good morning, Sangha. So happy to be here again. All right. Hope I'm not taking up too much space. I worry about that. But I definitely feel like few things in my heart. I try to make it fast because I don't want to take up too much space. But Father, I want to say, I feel like your prayer answered for me. Okay, I'll speak up. Good? Better? Okay, sorry. I want to say that ever since I was younger, really young, I prayed that I prayed, and I've always had a desire that I wish I could sit and talk to Jesus. I wish Jesus can sit next to me and I can talk to him like how he talked to the disciples, and just get clear answers, and have true experiences, just truth instead of what you read. I just wanted truth. I feel that's you. I feel my questions and my prayers, I feel that's you. So that's why I kind of get anxious when I want to ask you questions and get your response or whatever, because I feel like, this is my chance and you're before me now. So I just want to say that. Burning question that's been in my heart ever since I kind of first met you is, should I throw weed away, right? And honestly, I know in my heart I should. I know it's a hindrance. And I even heard Papa G confirm it and say it's a distraction, right? And I know once I stop smoking, I feel like there's really gonna be like no me, because I'm scared to be with myself, right? And last week when you was like, I don't have no prerequisites, but one, that you don't do drugs when you come to India. Father, when I tell you, that kind of hit me like, am I going to India now? Because I got to smoke. Honestly, I mean, that fear came up. And I want to say it probably is in alignment with that fear of being totally eliminated as well. And that could just be a mind thing. But my journal, I've been writing about this for years. You need to throw that smoking thing away. It's a distraction. And then I hear it. Then last week you said your prerequisite. The one thing, the one thing that would keep me from India is the one thing that you ain't playing with. And I was like, and I know this is the one thing that I need to throw away. And then the mind will play with me, right? Because I know in my heart that it's something that needs to go. I hope you still can hear me okay, because I know my volume. Okay. I know in my heart that it's something that needs to go. And I started to ask you too, also, like, where's your wisdom come from? Is it something that come in you just know it's truth and you go on it and you just don't waver? But I don't want to get too far off. So that's basically everything with me in the whole smoking thing. And I just want to hear what you have to say now. Okay? All right.
Okay, my dear, thank you. Thank you. So beautiful again. To hear you speak is very nice always. So first you mentioned something which was very beautiful here also. In fact, when I met Guruji the first time, I just felt like I'm so blessed because I have access to someone with the wisdom of all the sages like I had grown up hearing about, like Dattatreya, Ribu, all these phenomenal sages, but I just felt like I'm in the presence of Jesus, you see. I just felt like sitting with him, it just felt like I'm in Jesus' presence, with the Jesus who was also speaking the same words which the great sages that had grown up hearing about were also saying. But it was very beautiful. So when you were sharing, it reminded me a lot of that experience. When I first met Guruji, I just felt like I'm sitting with Jesus and how blessed are we. So that was very true. The prerequisite that you mentioned, actually I mentioned that I have no preconditions except when you come to satsang, come sober. And second was when you come to Bangalore to be in satsang, then don't do drugs, because what happened is that we had some experiences of people coming to Bangalore, and it's not easy. They spend a lot of money. They come and live here. It's not necessarily the most luxurious, comfortable city to live in also. So they, in a way, they make a lot of sacrifices to be here. You see, but what happens is when they're doing the drugs, then I see that they're not with me in satsang. You see, you can just feel like they're not present. They just, on a mental trip, or some imaginary, notional ideas are getting a hold of them. So I don't know actually what happens when these drugs are in play, but why I would have just said don't do come sober, do satsang, which covered both things, but I felt like I had to spell out the second one because I've had the experience. We had the experience here of some coming and spending a lot of maybe their life savings to be here, but coming here and then because of drugs or something not being able to really be here, be with me. So it is not because it is a judgment. It is not because I want to say this is good and this is bad. I know even in the Sangha there are various views about weed in particular. I know there are various perspectives about it. In fact, we had a mini argument among the Sangha members the other day after satsang where some were saying that, oh, it can have this kind of effect. Others were saying, no, it's really good and it should be legal everywhere or open everywhere. So I don't have a view so much about the goodness or the badness of it. I'm not judging based on that. I just feel like because of those experiences of those beautiful children who came to satsang, but something felt in them that they never actually got to be truly in satsang because they were somewhere else in a way. You see? And that is the reason why I said don't do this. The other reason was because it is possible to get in trouble in Bangalore in a way because new country, all of you, if you're high on some substances, then the authorities or something like this can use these kind of pretenses to harass you or try to make some money off you. So we won't want that to happen. Won't want that to become another big distraction on your visit here. So there are some things like this which led to this kind of guidance being shared. So again, it is not a judgment call. It is not because it is a moralistic thing or something. It is not that. It is just that I truly wish if you come to Bangalore, you're coming to be in satsang, so fully immersing yourself in this, then I won't want a joint or something to get in the way. This is where that came from. I hope that clarifies a bit.
Yes, it does. Now I see where you stand with that. But for me, and it's true, it is a great distraction. It is a great distraction because I've honestly came to satsang high and I've come to satsang not high. And okay, so before the question about the weed, I wanted to ask you about a clear mind and a clean heart. And I feel that weed keeps me from having that clean mind. Could you say something about that?
Yes, my dear. Actually, I just have to go with your feeling and some others' experience because here I've not had any experience with this kind of thing, so I'm not really sure what it does to the mind. But from what I've seen, we've had some instances where it does become a very dissipated sort of attention, very dissipated sort of mind, all kinds of imaginary ideas. I've also had the experience where this boy once his friends made him have. He was living in Bangalore. He came to visit to be in satsang, and his roommates they made him have some weed. And the next day he called me with a lot of fear, anxiety, panic. Is that maybe what is called a bad trip or something like that, where he was having a really bad time. And I was just feeling like this boy is just here for 5 days in satsang, and then most of that whole visit went on dealing with that particular fear, which was just not present before the drug experience. So my feeling is to say yes to what you're saying, that it does seem to have this kind of distractive effect on the mind, and it seems to sometimes make the fears more alive than they actually were. I'm sure in terms of the emotional layer of existence, it could have some benefit. That's why it feels like for some of you that you feel to do it, which may mean that some peace or some sense of calmness might come. But whenever I've asked anyone, they just say, no, Father, it is just that our mind becomes very, very active, but somehow we are not so inhibited anymore. It seems like some sort of inhibitions, they go away, but I couldn't speak to you very authoritatively on this subject, actually. Not really sure.
I'll be fast. But Papa G really hit it on the head from my experience about the distraction. And that's why I'm bringing it to you, I guess, because I want to overcome it. And I just sit on your lap with it most of the time. And I don't know what else to do with it. I just pray that, it get taken away. But something inside of me says it needs to be eliminated. It needs to be eliminated. It's stopping something from happening. And I know it's not original to me. This addiction is not cool. It's just not. But sometimes the mind will play. Like, Maharaj smokes cigarettes, so you okay. So, nothing can stop you from being the self. So it don't matter. But something is like, nah, no, it's not that. Yeah, true indeed. Nothing can stop you from being the self. But no, this is not as pleasurable sometimes, and I feel like it's a distraction. I'm ashamed. It's been times, okay, I've come to Satsang and didn't have my screen up because I was ashamed because I was high. That's not cool. I'll leave it alone, and I just give it to you, but it's out there now.
First, I have to say again, full blessings and love to you for this integrity, this honesty, this openness is very beautiful. It's really beautiful, and it is, I have to say as a blessing that it is going to be enough in your case. This openness itself is going to be enough in your case. So this is very, very good. Having said that, I want to say that you have my full blessing to give it up. My full blessing to let go of this habit, because I see that you see it clearly in your heart that it's not in service to you. So I'm with you through this, and don't worry, we had many of these cases. We have some presently going on. Like, I've been advising my children not to even smoke so much. Like, some of my kids, they really smoke a lot. So I feel like this is not the best thing for their lungs or their body to have to undergo. So, of course, there are some others who have taken this Bhagwan, not Bhagwan, but Maharaj and Maharaj and Yogi Ram Surat Kumar example with me, also saying that it doesn't get in the way. And it doesn't get in the way of your freedom, it's true. But as a father, I also want your bodies to be nice and healthy. So my full blessings for this. Just I don't know whether this is the right way of saying this, but sometimes it is our unworthiness and guilt which is about that particular thing itself, which draws us again more back into it also, you see, because it just feels like, oh, just forget it. You see, this guilt and unworthiness is also too much. Let me just go ahead and indulge in that thing, you see. So see if you can make it a bit lighter than this. I don't know how actually this will work, but because maybe you're using this power to be rid of it also in a way. But what I'm saying is that just like this addiction is not in service to you, any sort of unworthiness or guilt is also not in service to you. So I'm happy to work with you along this, and you can keep me posted on how this is unfolding. And we walk through this together, you and I, hand in hand. We'll see this through.
Very much. Very, very much. Thank you.
Actually, before we end, I want to say that it feels to me that the greatest addiction we have is to the mind. You see? So that is the most important addiction that this rehab is for. But sometimes our other bodily addictions can also seem to contribute to this mind addiction. So I'm happy to support you. I'm happy to encourage you to give up these bodily addictions as well, so that our mind is not so active, it is not so full of resistance. Anything that helps us become open, helps us become clear, I'm always happy to help with that. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Modi Baba ki
Jai. Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.